I go up, I'm on top of the ball, and I'm coming down. Next thing you know, he's taking me and the ball and put me back in the rim. And one. I looked over to the bench. That coach just did one of these. Oh man, it was murder. This back when Facebook first jumped off. I was going to the free throw line, and all of a sudden I look up in the student section, and they got 2 huge posters of my girlfriend at the time. What is going on? So I came in, I was 6'9", 165. I survived in high school off cherry cokes, 2 packs of Otis Spunkermeyer cookies. I got to college and figured out it wasn't physically possible.
It wasn't working for you. Oh wait, next play, you hanging from the rim. The next play, you hanging from the rim. You came down, little shake, boom, boom, straight down the middle. Boom, whole lunchroom lit up. Who is that? I said, that's Coach Wallace. Welcome back. Another episode of Full Court with CP. We have a very, very special guest here. One of my good friends, one of my favorite teammates of all time, one of the greatest of all time, Brandon Wallace. Thank you for being here today, man.
I appreciate you for having me, brother.
Most definitely,
I've been
man.
watching what you're doing, man. I'm so proud of you. And I always knew that something like this, it suits you because you have the personality and the drive.
For sure.
And the charisma to do things like this, and I'm proud of you, man.
For sure, man. I appreciate you, bro. I definitely appreciate you, man. But I always start out, my episodes, man, with what made you choose the University of South Carolina?
Oh, man. Let's start from the beginning. Coming up, I don't know if it was like this for you, but we were saturated by the ACC. So growing up, I always thought I would be wearing that Carolina blue.
Yeah.
That North Carolina blue, because that was one of the teams that was constantly on TV every day.
Wow.
Funny story, my junior year, we were playing in the playoffs, and we were playing Lee Central, and at the time, Matt Doherty was the University of North Carolina coach. He came to the game, he was walking around the gym, I seen him come in the door, I was like, oh, he finally came to see me. And it just happened to be a game that we was up by 20, and if you know me, others don't know me. Yeah. But I have to have like conflict to play. Yeah. So I have to be into it with somebody. Yeah. And it was probably one of the worst games I had because we was up by 25, so I was just out there. I wasn't really trying to do nothing.
Chilling.
I was chilling. Word. And I think that kind of it may have rubbed him the wrong way. Yeah. Because prior to that point, I played pretty well in high school, but I missed out on that opportunity. So then it became, I want to beat them.
Oh, yeah.
And I can do that here.
Yeah.
Why can't I do that at South Carolina? So at the time, it wasn't that South Carolina was hugely popular. They had, y'all had a tough season.
Yeah. And you were getting recruited by a lot of people, man.
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere the Auburns and Marylands, and you were up there because you were South Carolina Player of the Year.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so you had the pick of the litter, as we say. You had a lot of choices, man. So, rewind a little bit, back to Silver Bluff, high school. You average, 22, 15, 4 or 5 blocks a game. Bro, my first time seeing you play was state championship. And it's another thing. You got the first championship in Silver Bluff history, correct? Mm-hmm. That on a game winning shot by you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But take us through that. That moment. In the state championship. You committed to South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys are there because that was out there. We come to watch who's coming next. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that was the thing, man. Take us back, to that moment.
Oh man, it kind of goes back. So I'm from Jackson, South Carolina, and our Silver Bluff tradition and pride is a very big thing. You went to Wilson High School, and Wilson is huge. Yeah. Silver Bluff is the same way. It's a lot of pride involved in that program. And we were known as a football school for the most part because we put out countless NFL players. I think we had 11 NFL players now. But nobody had done it in basketball. And my brother actually made the state championship game in '92. They lost to Southside High School. Shamon Williams, he was the first to get Silver Bluff to a state championship game. So I had the opportunity 11 years later to actually get that. And the cool thing about that year, my dad was a high school coach. I don't think a lot of people know. I'm a coach's son. Yeah. Contrary to my attitude, but I am a coach's son. And my dad took a year off from his high school team to coach my high school team. And I think that was a big part in us finally getting over the hump. The play, believe it or not, was my dad's play. I was a distraction. He knew that I would draw all the attention. So it was a box play set up at like half court. He knew that I would draw all the attention. And it ended up being my point guard, Brandon Bussey, a wide open layup from half court. I'm talking about everybody ran with me. And he had that wide open layup going down the left-hand side. And normally, you see somebody ahead, it's like 9 seconds left. He got a wide open layup. He gonna make it. In my mind, I was like, I gotta go. Like I started chasing him. He just happens to miss the wide open layup, and I'm there for the left hand tip in, and the rest was history. But it was exciting, man. It was a lot of work that went into that moment. It kind of goes back to how I came to South Carolina. I wanted to do it at Silver Bluff. Silver Bluff was known as a football school. So I wanted to be the first to bring a basketball one to the school. And that area, we had Tony Kitchens a couple years ago, who you had the pleasure of being a teammate with.
Shout out to Kitch, man.
He was one. He brought a state championship to that area, and I was just trying to do the same, man. It was huge for us, though. But
that's what's up.
It still hasn't been done again. I was pulling for him, but hopefully they can get it together again.
Yeah, well, that's why your jersey in the Raptors. They got you. They retired you. I mean, they honored you in the Hall of Fame, correct?
Yes.
Congratulations, man. That's dope.
Thank you.
That's definitely dope. Speaking of Kitch, did you play baseball by any chance?
I did. I was a pitcher. I played center field and first base. I threw the ball really hard. No control.
No control. No accuracy.
I know a lot of parents were scared when I pitched. He throws the ball hard, but no control.
Don't know where it's going.
So Randy Johnson was big during my time playing. Hideo Nomo was big. Greg Maddox, Tom Glavine. That whole Brave era was big. I was a baseball. I played football too.
For sure. You did it. You did it all. You did it all at the Bluff, man. That's what's up, man. Well, fast forwarding into South Carolina. You getting on campus, as a young freshman. You came to summer before, correct? Yeah. That June, or you started in June? You skipped Maymaster, definitely. Skip Maymaster. Jesus. Skip it. As a freshman, incoming freshman, you shouldn't be able to do that anyway. But let's talk about you transitioning, from being the guy at the Bluff to being, walking on campus at South Carolina. What were your first impressions, your first thoughts of, all right, how this is going to go?
Oh, man. It was murder.
Yeah.
A little bit about me. So I came in, I was 6'9", 165, okay?
Yes.
I survived in high school off Cherry Cokes. My game day meal in high school, Cherry Coke, 2 packs of Otis Spunker Mile cookies.
Oh, wow.
And I would play all night off that. I got to college and figured out it wasn't physically possible.
So you tried that same regimen in college?
Starting out.
When you had got there.
Oh my God.
And it wasn't working for you.
I was hurt. I was hurting, brother. Like the physical demands were extreme. Coming from where I was from, because I was used to being able to. I was athletic. Like I had a lot of
crazy athleticism,
quick twitch and all that, but just the rigorous of wait 6 o'clock in the morning. Class, eat a little bit, individual, eat again, study hard. I wasn't used to that kind of schedule, and it hit me like a ton of bricks, man. I don't know if you remember my freshman year. It took me a while.
Took you a while.
It took me a while to figure it out.
It took you a while to figure it out, but my thing was with you was you weren't going nowhere. Like you were inviting all the smoke every time. It was some rough days, but at the end of the day, you was gonna thug it out.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you was built from that.
Yeah.
And I saw that early. I saw that early. I knew you had that tenacity about you. Quiet. About it, but it was like, all right, you push a button, you're gonna take me there. And I think that that came later. In your career at Carolina. But your freshman year, I think, you struggled a little bit, as all freshmen do, And I think all freshmen should struggle because it builds character.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it shows you what you can be made of. And I think you were a great example of that. You know, a guy, you played the 5 in the SEC, man. And
at 165.
Like 165 pounds, yes. You played the 5 in the SEC against the David Lees and
Lawrence Roberts,
bro. And you talking about Brandon Bass, Big Baby, you know, guys like that outweigh you by easy 80 pounds. Like, what was your mindset, you know, going into games? I know your mindset, but, you know, a lot of other people didn't know your mindset going into games versus those guys. You know what I'm saying? As a young freshman, what were you trying to accomplish as a young freshman?
You know, I see a lot of you. I seen you said it in an interview. Basketball has always been my way of expressing myself.
Yeah.
You touched on it. A lot of people don't know. I grew up. I was pretty much antisocial. I spent a lot of time to myself.
Yeah.
When I wasn't hooping or anything, I was in my room playing a game. I was comfortable by myself, and basketball forced me to be social. Yeah. And it was an expression for me. So every time I stepped on that court, I was looking for somebody. I just needed something. Yeah. It could be something you said 3 weeks ago. I seen a coach said he gonna do this to me. Do at the who. But I was always looking for something to hype myself up to play against you. Yeah. And those guys, some of the names you just named, I grew up watching them. David Lee was a McDonald's All-American. He was the first person I guarded when I stepped into an SEC game against Florida. Put me right in the rim right away.
Out the back. I was going to ask you about your first. See, that's why I always like your welcome to the SEC moment. You know?
Very first game. So, as you know, I'm already eager. Like, man, he did that against them. He ain't going to do it against me. Yeah. When I step out there, it's up every time. I go up, and I'm a pretty good shot blocker already. I mean,
for sure.
I didn't know if it would translate to high school because I blocked a lot of shots. But I was always tall and more athletic. But it kind of carried over to college. But I timed him just right. I go up. I'm on top of the ball, and I'm coming down. Next thing you know, he's taking me and the ball and put me back in the rim. And one. I looked over to the bench, and coach just did one of these. Like,
what I supposed to do about that?
Yeah, and then I knew it was a whole lot of moments, man. That freshman year, that same game. I don't know if you remember that scouting report on Christian Dreyer.
Man, come on now.
It didn't say a lot.
That's one of the we had a great staff. Great coaching staff.
Great.
That was one of the worst scouted games I've ever seen on a player. Christian Dreyer name had this much information under it.
That much.
You got your other guys with this much information.
Right. David Wallace, Anthony Roberson.
They go right this time. They on the block here. Christian Dreyer had a pinch of ink under his name. And he was a professional fryer.
A professional.
He was a professional. Literally, he was a professional playing against us. And we knew nothing about him. But I would like for you to tell the people about Christian Dreyer at Florida. Because we had no idea who he was.
If you get a chance, please go look him up. He left Florida a couple weeks after we played him.
Maybe like 11 games, total.
And went back and played pro in Europe. But he caught the ball on the elbow, gave me a jab, one dribble step back, and he banked it on purpose. This wasn't no mistake.
Nah.
And like Carlos said, the scout report didn't have much about him.
He had nothing under there, dog.
Mind you, he's my height.
Yeah.
And during that time, tall, 6'9", 6'10" dudes wasn't doing a lot of pro ISO step back. And they wasn't running plays for him to do that.
Yes.
So I'm looking over at the bench like, hold on now. He did that on purpose.
Yes.
And then he proceeded. He ran off a quick 11 before we had to call a timeout and we had to do something different. But he had everything. That right there let me know. I was like, hold on, man. I didn't even know who this dude was.
We didn't have a clue who he was.
And he probably the best person on this team at this moment. It's him. Y'all didn't say nothing about him.
Off the bench.
Yeah.
Off the bench, man.
Absolutely.
Oh man, he was one of those guys, man. nobody would know about but people from like, Florida, or if you played against him for those couple of games, he was here in the United States, because he ended up going back to, Italy?
I think it was Italy,
Maybe.
or some Czech Republic or something. He went.
I think he might have played for like Virtus or somebody over there in Italy, man. I want to say he played against Big Rowe.
Yeah.
He was in that same league as our guy Rowe, Rest in peace, Rowe, man.
Rest in peace, brother.
Yeah, man. So that was your moment, man. Because you were I want to say, I can be corrected, you're like 5 or 6 in the SEC all the time in blocks, bro.
Yeah.
Like, so you had some really tough matchups, but I know you won majority of those matchups because you had impeccable timing. Like, you weren't, like you say, you weren't as physically, stronger than those guys, but your timing was crazy, bro. I think I remember, man, you started a lot of breaks for us, and off the glass, I don't know, I end up with it. It end up with the ball. I'm running. One of us gonna get a dunk at the other end. You know what I'm saying, man? So you made it very exciting, and I can say this now. I knew you was gonna be back there, so if somebody beat me, I wasn't really worried about it. You know what I mean? I wasn't really worried about it because I had you back there, man. But I appreciate you as a teammate, everything you did for us at Carolina, man. But you were one of the ones, dog. And,
appreciate it.
And I had to, this is a funny moment, I had to remind everybody at school last week before we left that you were really like that on the basketball court, because my players, they had no idea from the JV, those guys weren't even born.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
None of these kids were born for the most part. Really, I don't think. Probably like a couple of them.
You know what I mean? 07 crowd.
Yeah,
right
07. Yeah, that crowd or whatever. But I put your video on in the lunchroom and had the entire lunchroom watching, the highlights, man. And the first highlight, bro, you came down, little shake, boom, boom, straight down the middle, bam. Whole lunchroom lit up. Who is that? I say. That's Coach Wallace. It was like, nah, no way. Next play, you hanging from the rim. The next play, you hanging from the rim. The next play, you just, you getting into it. And, talk about your journey as far as, because your journey was, less traveled. You know what I'm saying? And, a lot of people might not know the Brandon Wallace story, you know what I'm saying, because we had 5, I started 5, went to, had a chance to play in the NBA.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know that.
Which was unique. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was one of the most unique things, man. And like I said, I was going back to when I was talking about playing your video and, in front of those, those kids at school, just showing them like, hey, man, Coach Wallace really, really got active, and they had no idea, you know what I'm saying, that you were that guy. And it was a dope moment to, be a part of, to watch those individuals admire you. Yeah. Go ahead.
It was, I think it goes back to the beginning, because I think a lot of people didn't realize I came into college as a guard.
Yeah.
Obviously, my freshman year, Big Rowe, he started out with a suspension, I believe, and then he ended up hurting his wrist against Georgia.
Yeah.
And Brandon Wallace, the 5, came about out of necessity, because as a freshman, we trying to find, you're trying to find any way to get on the court.
That's it.
So like I said, I'm 6'9", 165. Hey, coach, I do it. I play center.
Yeah.
And it ended up being a place where I stuck. But a lot of people, even when I hear, like when people talk, it's like, man, I didn't know you shoot the ball. I didn't know you, if you go back to high school, that's all I did.
Yeah.
I would literally,
straight up.
Everything was 3-pointers,
Yeah,
dunks, blocks, all that.
Yeah.
But when I got to college, trying to fit in and play on the court and get a chance to play, I did what we needed, whatever needed to be done. So again, it goes back to me being a coach's son. I was always raised to do whatever the team needed. Yeah. Some nights that might be scoring, some nights that might be defense, some nights that might be bringing the ball against pressure. So it was ingrained in me to learn how to win. from a very young age. I don't know if a lot of people know it, but my mom played Division I basketball. My dad, Division I, played in the NBA, Spurs, Celtics, and my brother Brian played Division I basketball, all at Georgia Southern. It's a Georgia Southern family. My dad's in the Hall of Fame at Georgia Southern. And so when I see a lot of people, like, I think the fact that I am a coach's son gets missed a lot.
Yeah.
And then they're like surprised by the skill set, but you have to realize I was surrounded by it my whole life.
Yeah.
And as an antisocial kid, which if you would have met me younger, I'm quiet unless you know me, unless we have established that relationship. But I'm extremely quiet. I'm to myself, except with those relationships I built through sport. Like, I consider you a brother. Everybody I've grinded with is considered brothers. I got 2 biological brothers, but that number probably is in the 30 or 40s about guys that I've been through the fire with.
Yeah.
I consider y'all family as well, but it's just a lot that went into it's a lot there, man. It took a lot, as most kids did coming in. I struggled with confidence.
Yeah.
Initially, when you come in, you the man, and then you are like, whoa.
Talk about that.
We talk about it now with freshmen, but to all the young kids out here, it's another proving ground when you get to college. It's not where you just go into a situation and you the man, not unless you're a top 5, top 10 type player in your class. It's going to be a lot of trials and tribulations. It's all about how you overcome it, though. Today's kids, they tend to put their head down and run. The transfer portal is crazy.
Yeah.
Back then, we were forced to go through it.
Yeah.
Because if you transferred, you was going to have to sit a year anyway.
Yep.
And none of us was trying to do that. But it took a lot. I leaned heavily on my mom and dad and my brother Brian, who's experienced. He had 4 coaches in 4 years at Georgia Southern. So imagine one coaching change and then having 4. But my brother was extremely athletic, 6'4" guard. And he faced a lot of the same challenges, trying to reinvent himself 4 times because you got to fit each different system.
Yeah, each different coach.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's a lot that goes into it. So, as my freshman year, I was playing a different position. I was trying to overcome the lack of strength. My diet was terrible. I mean, if you ask my mom, I literally ate Popeye's chicken, shrimp from Kroger, Otis Spunker Meyer, and Cherry Coke. I still drink Cherry Coke to this day, but it was a lot to try to overcome and process on my own because I'm a loner.
Yeah.
Again, like I was nothing against nobody else. That's just how I was.
Yeah.
And trying to process it myself at my own time while still learning. It was so much new stuff happening. It took a lot of adjustment, and I think that was part of my delay into becoming who I ended up becoming. But I appreciated the journey, and it helped me be a better basketball player over the long run, having those trials and tribulations and going through it and sticking through it, man, because a lot of times people will pack their bags and they'll fold. Yeah. But I was never taught that way. So even in the good, you celebrate it, but I was always hungry to do more. Even with the teams we played on, while we had some good runs, they could have been better.
Yeah.
I look back on that time period because the talent was there.
Yeah.
They could have been better, but I'm grateful for those moments because it made us better basketball players over the next 10 years and into our professional careers. You blessed to win an MVP. Yeah. Not many people can say that. MVP of any country.
Yeah.
Especially at the professional rank. So
yeah, for sure.
I think that going through that fire for you as well helped mold you into the person and the coach that you are today. Same thing for me. I can identify kids that hit walls. I can help you get through that wall. I can talk you through it. If you want to go through it on your own, I'm willing to let you do that.
Yeah.
Because at the end of it, it's going to be growth. So it's just being able to adapt to change, find out what works for you, and sticking to the script.
Yeah.
You got to do that. Don't ever, when it's not going, you try it one way. It might take you 9 tries. But as long as you're willing to get up and fight to change it, you can change it. So that's my whole approach. That was my approach even when I was going through it. I'm going to figure something out.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't going to quit.
Nah.
Right.
It's like, nowadays, I think kids don't understand, like, each level in your life is going to take a different you, and it's not, starting over. it's a whole nother process.
It
you know
is.
what I'm saying? Because if you look at the numbers, 7, 8, 9, 10, you got a zero in it.
Mhm.
You starting
Again.
again. You know what I'm saying? 11, 12, 13, 14, on up to 19, 20, you're starting at zero again.
Mhm.
So each level is going to take a new you and a new, level of discipline and confidence. But I think nowadays kids they don't know that next level is going to require that.
A different version.
A different version.
Mhm.
And you never duck that.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
The guys on our team, the Trey Kellys, the Torrance Kinseys, the Ronaldo Balkmans, Josh Gonners,
Mhm.
Rocky Trice,
Right.
shout out all my guys from that, that squad, man. Give us a give us one of your best moments, man, at USC throughout your time, because I know you had quite a few, man, because I was a part of quite a few, I know, but give me one of your dopest
man.
moments at USC.
It's not even. I think the best moments for me was, I think our team was so similar in personalities, and every night we was going out, it didn't matter who we was playing against. They hadn't done it to us yet.
Yeah.
So we always had that belief that we could beat whoever.
Yeah.
From the sweep in Florida, the national championship year, from your time, anytime we played a big name team, it's like, oh, he an NBA guy. Oh yeah,
Yeah, all right.
he ain't did it against me yet. So that it was always a point to prove every time we stepped on the court, and it's so many, man. From knocking off Kentucky, those big games. My freshman year, we went to the NCAA tournament, surrounded by big games, man. And coming from a 12 and 16 year to winning 23 games that next year, it was a great time to be a Gamecock. So everything from my freshman year, although I didn't have a big part in it, but being there supporting you guys that were out there doing it, Mike Boynton, yourself, Torrance, all those guys that came before us, Cabral Brown, all those guys.
KB.
I think it was the process, man, of just grinding. It's tough to put maybe winning the NIT that first time. You got MVP.
Yeah. That was wild.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
Okay. All right. So we talk about that, right? Let's go back to how that first NIT run, because I was going to get to you guys' second NIT, but let's talk about the first one. The mindset, because I tell a lot of people about the mindset we had when we won that, and this was back then, 05. And people were like, y'all just won the NIT. I said, at the end of the year, it was 2 champions, and we were one of them. It was North Carolina and it was South Carolina.
Right.
I said, you're never gonna dim that light, because that team, we played Georgetown. Who else? Miami. Was it Maryland?
Maryland and St. Joe's.
St. Joe's.
Yeah.
We played somebody else, I think. We played 4 teams or 5 teams.
5. It was somebody else.
It was somebody else in that mix.
Was it Western Kentucky that year?
Might have been.
I think it was
Might have
Western
been.
Kentucky.
But come on now. We're talking about 5 of the teams that were on the edge of getting in the NCAA. The same with us.
Right.
Talk about that run and your mindset throughout that run, because I know it
was UNLV.
UNLV.
It was UNLV.
Yep. Running Rebels.
Lewis Amundsen was on that team.
O was on that team.
Yeah.
O'Darte Blankston.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. UNLV.
O was on that team, if I ain't mistaken. But talk about that run.
Man, again, coming up in South Carolina, wanting to be a part of things like this, making the NCAA tournament when it wasn't a regular thing, and being on good basketball. It was a lot of love around the city for the basketball team at that time.
Yep.
It was electric, man. I think I made all tournament that year as well.
Yep.
But it was just another proving ground. Like, each one of those teams we played had pros on it.
Each one of them.
And it was the challenge. That was the next step. So anytime somebody, like I told you, I was always looking for some kind of motivation. I needed somebody to talk to me, or somebody to say something, because I'm gonna go crazy.
Somebody to get out of character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it was. It was like a proving ground for us. Like, these guys are good, but we just as good.
Yeah.
We just came from the SEC playing good competition. Like,
The best of the best.
yeah, the best of the best. And I was excited to get out there and show the rest of the world because all those games were televised. Back then, not every game. Was the SEC Network around back then? I don't think it was.
I don't think so.
Because we used to play like on Fox Sports some games.
We used to play Fox Sports.
Now every game is televised,
Yep.
so I guess it kind
That's
of
a luxury for them.
Yeah,
for real.
every TV game I'm trying to
look on
turn.
the schedule, look like, okay, we got Fox Sports,
Right, Sun Network or whatever it used to be.
Yep.
Yeah. So every TV, it was a chance, man.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? I never even considered pro scouts or nothing like that. I was so locked in to the battle. I ain't even worried about who was watching. I was trying to. It was a proving point to prove that I can play with those guys that they say are pros.
Yeah.
So that was my motivation, and it was crazy, man. That run we had, it was personal.
Yeah.
It was personal because we just made a tournament, and a lot of teams. What you see with the NIT is it's teams that want to be there, and it's teams that feel like they should have been in the tournament that don't even care. They want to get it over.
They're just ready to get the season over with.
Yeah, for us, it was just another opportunity to go out and showcase our talents and put on for our people, man. That's what it was all about.
That's what it was.
That's
man.
what it was.
I remember the conversation though. We had as a team. Torrance spoke, about, just going out there playing basketball the way we know how. And my biggest thing was, and I still remember it, I was like, fellas, this is my last ride, and I just want to have some fun, dog. And that was it. That's all I remember me saying, bro. I just want to have some fun. And from that moment on, everything was like, all right, y'all really can't see us right now. Like, we came out, everybody thought UNLV was gonna beat us. We smacked y'all. And then it was Miami. They had Diaz,
Guillermo Diaz, and Height, Robert Height.
And Robert Height, bro. 2 killer guards. Smacked y'all around. And then we got Georgetown. Jeff Green. Who else was on that team?
Brandon Bowman.
You got pros.
Pros.
NBA guys.
Yeah.
I still remember that. We
Jeff
smacked y'all around too.
From Georgetown. He's still in the league.
Who that?
Jeff Green. He was young on that team.
Jeff Green was he was on that team. I gave Jeff the first 10.
Yeah.
12,
he was a young fella.
He was youngin'.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pat Ewing, all them dudes.
Pat was on that squad.
Pat Ewing Jr.
Pat Ewing Jr. was on that squad at Georgetown. Next game was what's the left-handed dude from Maryland?
Kana Medley. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That was my coming out party.
Yes, Lord. Talk about that.
8 blocks, man.
Talk about it, dog.
I just remember watching him. He was a McDonald's All-American, I believe. And I remember the pregame. I don't know if you remember like I remember it, but we in Madison Square, and I just keep hearing something. Boom. Boom. The crowd going crazy. I look down. They tearing the rim off.
Come
on the other end. Abekwe.
Yes.
James Gist.
Yes.
I'm talking about dunking like I've never seen somebody fly past the rim.
NBA slam dunk contest.
Yeah, it was going off down there.
I remember.
And then I remember and it was different too for me because Maryland recruited me. And I was trying to, oh, okay. So all right, I got something for them.
Yeah. They had a dunk contest going on.
It was a whole dunk. I'm talking about.
It was crazy.
It was crazy. We played against some athletes.
Yes.
But it was looking different on the other end that time.
We'll get to the other one that another team did that to us too before that. But we're gonna get to that. But talk about Maryland and that.
It was so personal for me. I remember, and then I don't know how many points. I didn't really care about the points. I was just determined that none of them dudes was gonna score by that basket while I was down there.
He was hosting the block party.
I actually remember. I used to tell you, just let them go.
Yeah.
If they get by you, don't worry about it. Just let them go.
Yeah.
I got them. And at just timing, I don't think, because I know obviously a lot of teams, I was the first person they would challenge because I was so slim.
Yeah.
I mean, that was part of it.
They had the wrong guy. They were barking up the wrong tree.
I mean, you would have thought by that point in the season they would have learned, but I guess everybody still, I'm gonna do it to them.
Yeah.
But it never really happened like that. But
that was your sophomore year?
Sophomore year.
You averaged About what? I want to say 1.7,
Yeah.
almost 2 blocks a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were up there. You were up
And
there in the country in blocks, man.
it was just out there trying to prove a point, man. I was out there trying to represent. And the funny part about that whole tournament, so I'm from a small town in Jackson. If you know, I know you know where I'm from. If you ever call me by my nickname, so we out at Madison Square Garden, and I hear somebody just yelling my nickname, which was Tutu.
Yeah.
Tutu. Just somebody keep calling my name. I'm like, man, they can't be talking to me.
Yeah.
Not in Madison Square Garden.
Not in the
that's
Garden.
from Jackson. My hometown got like 1,100 people.
Yeah.
I look, and it's my cousin, Tim Harris, some kind of way he's courtside from Jackson, South Carolina. Ain't calling me, no
on
tickets.
courtside.
Calling my name.
Yeah.
And I look, and it's him, and I just remember lighting up. It's like, okay, I got to put on. Somebody from Jackson. Somebody from Jackson that thought enough of me to make it all the way up here to New York City to see me play at Madison Square Garden. First time here. I got to put on. Not ESPN. Not Coach Odom's speech. But Tim Harris. He was calling my nickname. I was like, somebody from Jackson thought enough of me to come all this way.
That's dope.
And spend money. So I got to put on. He here.
For sure.
I got to give him a show. And the rest of it was history, man. We had a game. I remember it was. I'm telling y'all, I think something was wrong with me because I would talk to coaches.
He was wild.
Anybody whoever said something crazy, I'm into it with. I used to bug out, so I know it's a lot of people that probably dislike me. Coaches that had the wrong impression of me, but for me, that was just my way of expressing. Like I had a lot of pent up anger, kind of. So just getting into it with those guys, that's kind of what it was, man. I was just somebody from Jackson made it all that way. I got to put on.
Yeah, for sure.
And it ended up working out for us. So it was great.
It was definitely dope, man. We ended up, playing St. Joe's, and winning. Torrance's 3-pointer for the game, one of the coldest buckets ever. One skip, Hezzy, another skip, Hezzy, another one straight into a pull-up.
History,
dog. And shout out to him, dog. Shout out to our brother. Shout out to our brother TK, man. Love you, champ. That was a great moment for all of us. We celebrated for quite some time. We definitely had a time. We did in New York, and when we got back to Columbia, we did as well. But your second run at NIT, that run I was super jealous of. Let me tell you why. Because you guys, I thought we had some fun, bro. But the way you guys played, and I always wanted to play against Michigan too. You know what I'm saying? And you guys got a chance to play against Michigan. The way you guys played that second go round, the first go round was tough, but that second one you guys got was crazy, man. What was it like that season, leading up to, that moment of you guys running it back-to-back NIT champs?
First of all, I would say how we played, it was a tribute to your leadership because you empowered us to go out there and be expressive.
Appreciate it.
And we went out and expressed ourselves based off of what we did with you. That second run was because we thought we should have been in the tournament. We made it to the SEC championship game.
How many games y'all won that year?
We was at like 20.
Maybe 22?
Yeah, we was at 20 wins, I think. Well, 19. We was like 19 and 11 or something like that. 18 and 11.
Year?
The junior year.
Okay,
we win the second NIT.
Junior, I'm sorry.
Senior we was bad,
Yeah.
but
it was a struggle.
Yeah, my junior year, we felt like we belonged because we swept Florida during the regular season. They beat us on the tip end in the SEC championship game in Nashville, and I think that we just matched them player for player, unlike anybody else. They went on to win a national championship, obviously, but they struggled with us because we matched them across the board.
That team had
Joakim Noah, Al Horford, Corey Brewer
was
Humphrey.
A-Roll wasn't there.
It was Humphrey, Lee Humphrey, the shooter.
Yes.
And Torian Green was the point. Chris Richards came off the bench.
Yeah, big Chris.
They was loaded. They was good. They was good.
They had a lot.
They had a lot.
Jesus.
They had a lot and very active bigs.
Yes.
Uh,
Joakim Noah.
Joakim Noah and Al Horford.
And Al Horford, man, come on now.
Joakim got all the headlines, but
Yeah.
we knew Al was the
Horford,
problem.
Al was the problem.
He was the
bro.
problem.
He was a serious problem.
He used to disrespect the double teams.
Yo.
He used to dunk on double
He
teams.
used to dunk on double teams, bro. People don't know that Al Horford was
different.
A problem.
He was a real problem in college.
In college, yo.
Yeah.
Everybody was, because Joakim Noah was the hype guy.
And he handled it.
He
Yeah.
handled it a little bit. But Al Horford would put you and your mama in the rim.
Everybody.
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 It didn't matter who it was. You were going in that rim. And Jesus, he was strong as I don't know what.
He was, man.
Think about that, bro. We were playing the 5, man.
Yeah.
We were playing the 5 against those dudes.
6'10", 7 foot. Yeah.
Come on, huh?
It's trade. So that year, and that once we didn't get in that tournament, it was like, Coach, same speech he gave us, opportunity. What y'all want to do? Y'all want to continue to play? It was like, yeah, at this point, why not?
Yeah.
And we're going to go back and win it. And we're going to show everybody that we did belong. So we was just out there playing free, man. The cuffs was off. We was doing anything. Shooting whenever. Attacking. We was playing unbelievable defense, which we always shout out to Coach Duckett. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Duck, man.
Coach Duckett had us keyed in, and we were really just out there just having a time. So much of a time that Ronaldo went first round.
He went first round.
Based off that NIT run. And everybody else got looks because of that run. Torrance Kinsey as well.
Yeah,
he went in.
Everybody
based off that run.
That was a tough squad, man. And I think that squad, because I know our squad was in one of the top 2, 3 in the country. We were holding teams under 50 points, bro. That was the thing, bro. Like, you might get 51.
Right. Everything is challenged. It ain't nothing easy.
Everything. Bro.
Everything.
And a lot of people say that's because of the different offense and all that. Nah, man. We were strapped.
It was personal.
It was pride.
Yeah, it was a pride thing.
You got 5 guys with pride on defense. That's a different story. That's a whole different team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And all of us had the same approach to the defensive end of the floor.
Right.
And it was like, and Coach Duckett made it fun. Though.
He did.
He made defense fun, and I think that's why we were so successful as a team. And we, and I say I want to rewind to this moment. Was it Tennessee when they were down there dunking the goal in the pregame?
And they broke the rim.
They broke the rim on
us. Yes.
Was that?
That was Hayslip, Marcus Hayslip.
Hayslip, L. Grace Wilborn. What's the other
Ron
one?
Slay.
Slay. And my guy, what's my guy name? I can't even think of his name. The other big, Brandon Crump.
Crump, yeah.
Brandon
B. Crump. Shout out to B. Crump.
Shout out to my guy, B. Crump, man. That's my dude, man. B. Crump, me and B. Crump was overseas together for a little bit. The pregame, 3 hours before the game, baby. 2 hours before the game. We come out there, everybody, that's when they wear the tank tops and shoot around and do all this other stuff. Them dudes decided to have a dunk contest. Like, they are on purpose trying to tear our goal down. Ron Slay is at half court. I remember this, the volleyball line, whatever, like right on the end of the Gamecock. And he's standing there looking. He's like, tear it down. Tear it down. And L. Grace Wilborn comes and just monkey dunks it. It was probably one of the most disrespectful things they could have done in the pregame. Sadly to say, we beat the brakes off of y'all for that. Slay. You gonna see this, Slay. We beat the brakes off of y'all for dunking the basketball goal down in pregame warm-ups. I know you remember that. I appreciate the extra motivation. I know my guy definitely appreciates it.
Absolutely, man.
We were only looking for like a small edge. We was just looking for somebody to look at us wrong, or maybe like a small bump. It really didn't take much for us because one of us was gonna set it off like on purpose. Like, it didn't matter.
Didn't matter.
We wanted smoke like all the time. Like, we wasn't dodging nobody, and that's why our team was so successful, because you was gonna have to show us every time. You know what I'm saying? And that was dope, man.
It's funny you brought that moment up, because from your year, our second IT run, we played Cincinnati, and we're on our end, pregame warm-ups. You know, that's James White, Eric Hicks. You know, they got the Jordan brand. We at Cincinnati. And we going, you know, we doing our little thing. We about to huddle up because they about to do starting lineups. Eric Hicks is still on our end. You know, he going through his little pregame warm-up. So we huddling up. Eric Hicks walks right through our huddle. I'm talking about just bust through, pushing and everything.
Oh, come on, man.
You already knew what time it was after that. That was Devin's freshman year when Devin was at Cincinnati.
Young was over there.
And you know what happened after that. It was way beyond up. We got him. Needless to say, we got him up out of there quickly.
BTA.
We was posting. we was posting Trey Kelly that game, dropping the Trey Kelly on the post.
Yes,
it got personal real quick.
Man, if we're posting up Trey Kelly at the point,
we got something. Yeah,
man, y'all might as well wrap it up.
Yeah,
wrap it up.
But that man walked right through our huddle. That was the second most disrespectful moment I ever had playing. But I've never seen somebody walk through the huddle to break right before you go do the lineup. Yeah, right just bust through.
No, bro, we got a problem.
Real
problem.
problem.
Serious problem.
Eric Hicks, shout out to E. Hicks, man. Played with him in Poland. Yeah, real monster, real beast.
Yes,
6'6", 6'7",
definitely.
All of that.
Yes, but you know, I want to go back to, you know, we talk about the Florida matchups, but we can't skip over our Kentucky matchups. Some of the best teams we probably ever played against. Some of the best players.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That team, I know you guys played against the Rondos.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, no, y'all wasn't, Cousins wasn't there with y'all.
No, it was Rondo, Kalena Azubuike.
Boot was there.
Chuck Hayes.
Come on, Chuck.
Eric Daniels, who played a lot like yourself. E.
Daniels, left-handed. They were
Patrick
stacked.
Sparks. They was loaded. They was loaded.
They had I forgot the other guard. They had Drew as well.
Yeah.
You know, but when I was there, man, they had like Fitch and all those other guys.
Cliff Hawkins. My freshman year. Cliff
was different.
He was. You talking about ball pressure.
Come on, man.
I played with him.
The first person that was out there in
94
feet.
From talking about meet you at the scores table and walk you down to the ball.
Come on, we go together.
Yeah.
Cliff was one of the toughest guys over there.
Right.
Talk about, you know, playing against Kentucky in Rupp.
I think the first thing you got to get over, first of all, it's 25,000 strong, all blue and white, and they purposely keep the lights dim until the jump ball, right? So you can hear them, but you can't really see what's going on. Or people that's lined up from the floor to the ceiling in the Coliseum until right before they jump the ball off, they flip the lights on. It's like you literally can feel the floor shaking. The floor shakes. You can't hear whistles.
For sure it shakes.
It's there. Kentucky Rupp is crazy, and we played in Fog Island. We played at Kansas. Kansas is the same way. It's
definitely
the floor. Like, I can't describe the feeling of the floor. You have to be out there to experience it, but you don't even hear the ball bounce. And you dribbling, the ball doesn't bounce. Like, you can't hear it bounce. That's how loud it is in Rupp. And that first time, man, we actually played some great games with them. Like, I know they hated coming to Columbia because they already knew what time it was. Like, they'll get us in at Rupp.
Yeah.
It won't be by a lot, but when they came here, they knew what time it was.
About 6 to 8 points, man. It'll be a tough game.
It'll be a tough game.
And then them coming to Columbia.
They knew what time it was.
A lot of people hated coming to Columbia.
Oh yeah, it was rough during that time period. It was something.
For sure. Top 5 guys in the SEC you had to match up with. Top 5. I know it's hard. Give me a 5.
Top 5.
My 5 is ridiculous.
That first year, like, I didn't even know who Lawrence Roberts was. He got Player of the Year that year.
Yes.
But I think he came from Baylor. They had a strange situation happen, and he transferred in. They let him play right away.
Right away.
And he was a man amongst boys.
Mississippi State.
Yeah. David Lee. Oh, man. Matt Freege.
I was about to say, don't leave
Jesus
Freege
Christ.
Out. Freege was in my
He was
list.
Dirk Nowitzki before. Well, Dirk Nowitzki was already out.
Yeah.
He was Dirk Nowitzki, yes. Freege.
Dirk Jr.
Yeah. The Hayes brothers.
Jonas and Jarvis.
Yeah. It's so many. Chris Lofton. David Bide.
Man, no, time out. Chris.
Lofton.
Hey, Derek Bide.
Derek Bides.
No, talk about Chris. No, back to Chris. Chris, I'm gonna send this to you, Chris. I'm definitely gonna DM you this episode. Talk about how Chris used to shoot the basketball, bro.
It was ridiculous. I had the pleasure of playing with
Christ, man.
Chris and Mercer my first year. But playing against him it was so discouraging because you could be there on the catch and it wouldn't matter. If he was able to lean back and get it off,
it was like lean, man. He always
80% chance. And he didn't shoot layups. So it'd be 2-on-0. They would kick it to him for 3, and that was a great shot.
For the 3.
That was a great shot.
They was kicking him on the break for the 3, bro.
Oh, man. And then Shan Foster and Derek Bias. They was getting on our nerves.
At Vandy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, watching them shoot the basketball, because as big men, we see the end result. So we watching for the rebound. We see the ball coming through the net. We know it's cash.
Yeah.
Before anybody else knows it's good. We already know. I got my head down. And these dudes, man, Rondo's, it's so many to name. Big Baby.
Yeah.
Brandon Bass was a man child. I never seen.
Brandon Bass.
I didn't understand it.
It was different.
It was different. His level of strong and how he didn't care nothing about double teams, and everything was hard for them. He rebound hard. Tyrus Thomas, they had some dudes. It was pros everywhere in that league.
At Auburn. Yeah, Marco
Killingsworth.
Man.
Brandon Robinson.
What's the guy that blocked
Kyle Davis.
Kyle Davis.
He blocked Josh 3-pointer from the block.
From the block,
He
bro.
jumped from the block.
He jumped from the block.
And volleyball swatted a 3-pointer.
Into the stands, bro.
And then
That's
Josh,
crazy.
He was the first one I seen. Josh Garnet went to shoot a layup. He swung and missed with the right
and
cleaned it up with the left.
Swung again, bro. Oh my God.
I wasn't used to the level of athleticism. I was athletic.
Yeah.
But it was dudes out there that was different. And I'll never forget that coming into the SEC. ACC was the more heralded league because of tradition. Yeah. But we was always, Big Ten kind of beat you up.
Yeah.
SEC was a league of athletes. Yeah. And it's still kind of that way today.
I got to throw my guy Marquise Daniels in there.
Yeah. Oh, man. Quiet
Keys
assassin.
was in there. Oh, man. Keys.
Easy 30.
Justin Reed. Matt Freege.
I forgot Jay Reed.
Yeah,
he was the first person I ever seen get carried off the court because we thought something was wrong.
Something was wrong with him. No, it
Rest
wasn't
in
wrong.
peace, Jay Reed too. But
yeah, that's my guy, man. That was my dude.
Unbelievable. You talk about guys that play so hard to where they have to carry you off the court. They give you oxygen. Yes. We like, well, he out. He must be done.
Nah,
he came back and gave us some more work.
Some more work. Oh my God, his son playing at LSU right now too, man.
I gotta check him out.
Yeah, definitely. He plays well. He playing well too, man. Definitely reminds you of his father, but he doesn't have that motor like his dad. I forgot what the scouting report said on Justin Reed.
He's a workhorse.
That's Coach Duckett. Coach Duckett used to write some stuff on those scouting reports, but this guy does not stop moving. Like he never stopped moving. But yeah, Matt Freege, Keith Daniels, Justin Reed.
Ronnie Brewer was in the league.
Brewer. Who else was on that team with Brewer? That other
Jonathan
guy.
Modica. He was a problem.
He's up there.
Yeah.
And
Pat Bev was young. I played against Pat Bev as a young Pat. He's a scorer.
Ron Dupree.
Yeah. Ron was a grown man too.
Grown man. Yeah. Athletic, crazy athleticism, man. But SEC was loaded.
It was loaded.
It was definitely loaded.
It was.
Which team in the SEC you were not looking forward to going on the road to play? Besides, Kentucky was. I was tripping with Kentucky. I knew it was going to be crazy.
Yeah.
But besides them.
On the road, I don't know about you. I like to play at Vandy because the rims came out of the ceiling. It was a lot like high school. We could shoot it well in there. But the team I hated to play, it was the dead gyms. The gyms where the energy went up. Mississippi State. Starkville was hard to play.
Yeah.
Ole Miss was hard to play.
Yes.
I never won at Ole Miss.
I don't think I played that twice.
Tennessee, I kind of liked, but once they got Bruce Pearl in there, it became quickly a place you didn't want to go because they were good. Like they got good really quick,
really good,
really quick. Just the dead ones where we had to find our own energy.
Yeah,
like Ole Miss, Starkville. You had to find your own energy. They were a good team, but you really had to find your own energy there. I like the Floridas. Because the fans going to say something crazy. That's crazy. Like I could count on Kentucky. I can count on Florida. LSU.
LSU was wild.
Too, LSU used to put I don't know if you remember, but when we jog out, they used to put the tiger. Like they'll hide him around the corner. He'll be in the cage, but you wouldn't see him until you turn the corner. And every time, scared of light. I remember, we turned the corner, right? And the tiger would be quiet. Until y'all got close.
Until you got close, you got to turn the corner.
But they like
a lot of mind tricks were going on in the SEC.
I didn't like playing against Georgia. That's who I hated to play against. Now that you bring it up, because it wasn't basketball,
bro. Georgia's closed my eye, bro.
They blacked your eye.
And they say I was flopping. How I'm flopping and you closed my eye, bro.
I hate it because it wasn't basketball with them.
It wasn't.
It was a fight. And they coach, shout out to him. He's still doing, I can't even remember his name.
Oh, but what's his name?
They knew the way for them to stay in games was to make it ugly.
Yeah.
And they did
muck
that.
It up.
They did.
They mucked games up, man.
They made it a dog fight, holding, fighting, anything illegal, they did.
Bro, I remember that. My eye was closed.
They blacked you. We won the game.
We won that game,
but
bro.
they shut your eye.
They shut my eye, man. I remember that game.
Steve Newman. I remember him, the redhead kid.
Come on, man.
Sunday out of games.
That team.
That team won the SEC tournament.
Yes.
With that style of basketball. Yeah.
Sunday Otter, man. Sunday Otter was tough.
Yeah.
He was definitely tough.
For that style they played, that beat you up style, they were tough.
They literally was
Levi
trying
Stoops.
to beat you up.
Yeah,
I remember Stoops, definitely. That was a tough place to play, man. Playing down there in Georgia. Because they put you slap dab in the hood.
They did.
In the hotel.
The projects was right by.
The projects was right there. Like, as soon as we walk out the back, the projects was right there.
We got comfortable over there.
We was good. We was good. We was good. We was good in the hood.
We was good. Yeah.
Yeah, man. We got real comfortable, man.
Right.
But yeah, talk about, the road. We sticking to the road aspect. One of your favorite moments on the road, because we had some clown teammates, man. Some hilarious guys. Josh Garnet might got more moments than anybody. Jay Gunn, if you ever see this episode, man,
please get with us.
Please get with us, my guy.
With us,
we love you, champ. We definitely love you, boy. We miss you.
I can go, man. One thing I got is tons of stories, and some kind of way I'm always in it, like around it. I have to deal with the fallout from it. So one of my favorite stories, I can start with Josh. We at Florida, and this is probably your year, because you was with Josh.
Yeah.
But something happened, and Josh occasionally used to spaz, and he spazzed, and coach sent him back to the locker room early. So this guy Josh, mind you, before the game, this dude is literally running up and down the lockers. Like how baseball players do in center field when they catch in the outfield and run up the wall.
Run up the wall and run
That's
around.
what Josh was doing. Josh was running up and back and forth. And I don't know what he did to Coach Odom, but Coach Odom sent him to the bat. And I remember coming back to the locker room at halftime, and I see these eyes like peeking out the door, just keep jumping and peeking up. It's Josh. He trying to watch the game from the locker room. But this dude, we got the Birmingham story where the dude jumps off the elevator and does a flip.
Oh my God!
We had some bowl game,
bro.
We was playing in Birmingham somewhere.
We was somewhere, bro, and the elevator went ding.
Lobby full. It's a bowl game, a football game.
Lobby full of people. He dove like Josh dove, bro. Like, oh my God, man.
Oh my goodness.
Definitely some.
It's so much, bro.
So many moments, man.
It's I remember Uzman Kanadi. Shout out to Uz.
Big Uz.
We was playing in Waco, Texas, my senior year. Mind you, it's a crazy game. This back when Facebook first jumped off. So it's a couple things from that game I remember I was going to the free throw line, and I was about to shoot some free throws. And all of a sudden, I look up in the student section, and they got two huge posters of my girlfriend at the time. Just two huge, out of nowhere. I'm about to shoot. It's an FSN game. I'm like, what is going on?
What?
Like, literally,
Oh
it's
my
like every time I go to shoot the
God.
free throw, they got bobbleheads, like
Yes.
just waving her around.
Yeah.
And then that same game, Usman, he had a friend from Senegal that played on the other team. He didn't get a chance to play at all that game.
Yeah.
So then Ooze decided, we ended up winning the game, and I gave them fans, I gave it to them after the game.
Earful.
But after the game, he decides that he's not getting on the bus. He's not going back with us. So me as a team captain, Coach Odom gives me and Trey Kelly
Oh God.
the opportunity. He's like, y'all got to go get Ooze to bring him back. And now if you don't know, Ooze is 6'10",
Yeah.
295, all muscle.
Nah, 300.
3 bills, all muscle.
3 bills.
No muscle, all muscle.
All muscle.
No fat.
4%, 3%
Right.
body fat.
And he does what he wants. He got a reputation for
Yes.
doing whatever he want to do. And he goes, and Coach Odom tells us to go talk to him. You know, he got to bring him back. We got to go. So me and Trey go off. We go find who he's talking to his friend for saying, we're like, ooh, his coach said we got to go, man. We got to get on the plane. I'm not going. I was like, ooh, Thomas, stop playing, man. Let's go, man. We got to go. They're like, they're waiting on you to come back. Coach sent us out here to get you. I'm not going. I'm done. Me and Trey looked at each other. Well, he said he done. That was good enough for us.
Yeah.
So now, but we can't beat him. We can't beat him up.
What
He's
you
too
gonna-
big.
what you
He's
gonna
too
do about
strong. We go get back on the bus, and Coach Odom just, Coach Odom used to give you that look, like that blank stare.
Yes.
Like, what's up, Coach? He said he wasn't going. So,
What you want us to do?
what you want us to do?
He 300.
Right. He not finna crack our head. But they end up, some kind of way, I think either Coach Duckett or Coach Sanson got off, or Coach P got off and got him. But it was just one of the moments, like, me and Trey, we gave up instantly.
Yeah.
Once he said he wasn't going,
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
I'm fine. I'm
I'm
perfectly
fine with that. Whatever, however y'all want to get back, I'm sure y'all will figure it out. We out of here. But it was like, with that team, man, Ronaldo, Usman, we had Antoine Tisby. Stories can go on forever, man.
Dog.
Forever.
Yeah, well, we'll be here forever, man.
Right.
If we had to go through all those stories, man. But unfortunately, we gotta finish up, man. I definitely appreciate you coming through, man. Kicking it with me, bringing some of the stories, man. Showing the love, dog. I definitely appreciate you, man. And that's another episode of Full Court with CP, and we out.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, man.